Have you ever wondered why Japan has one of the highest life expectancies in the world? A huge part of the secret lies in their diet, especially what they choose not to eat. Today, we're diving deep into the 5 types of food that many Japanese elders actively avoid, and the health wisdom behind their choices might just change the way you look at your own plate. Stick around, because some of these might surprise you. First up on the list, and this might be a tough one for many of us, is bread. Yes, that fluffy, delicious staple. In Japan, traditional meals are built around rice, not wheat. Many older Japanese people avoid bread, especially the highly processed white bread common in Western diets. Why? Well, it's often high in refined carbohydrates and low in fiber, which can cause rapid spikes in blood sugar. This can contribute to inflammation and increase the risk of type 2 diabetes over time. Plus, many commercial breads contain preservatives, added sugars, and other additives that don't align with a traditional, whole foods approach to eating. Instead of a sandwich for lunch, they might have a bento box with rice, fish, and a variety of vegetables, a much more balanced and nutrient-dense meal. Next, we have sugary drinks. This one seems obvious, right? But it's the extent to which they're avoided that's key. You won't find many Japanese seniors sipping on sodas, sweetened fruit juices, or fancy coffee drinks loaded with syrup. They understand that these are just empty calories, offering no nutritional value while sending your blood sugar on a wild roller coaster ride. Consuming these drinks regularly is linked to weight gain, metabolic syndrome, and a higher risk of heart disease. What do they drink instead? The answer is simple and elegant. Green tea, matcha, sencha, genmaicha. The options are endless. Green tea is packed with antioxidants like catechins, which are famous for their anti-inflammatory properties and ability to fight cellular damage. It's hydrating, boosts metabolism, and has been a cornerstone of Japanese culture for centuries. So, swapping that can of soda for a cup of green tea is a simple yet powerful step towards better health. The third category of food to avoid is processed meats and red meat in excess. Think sausages, bacon, ham, and even large, frequent portions of beef. While meat isn't completely off the table, the traditional Japanese diet emphasizes moderation. Processed meats are often loaded with sodium, nitrates, and other preservatives that have been linked to an increased risk of certain cancers and heart problems. The World Health Organization has even classified processed meat as a Group 1 carcinogen, the same category as tobacco. When it comes to red meat, the Okinawan diet, famous for its longevity, traditionally features very little of it. Instead, the primary sources of protein are fish, tofu, and legumes. Fish, especially fatty fish like mackerel and sardines, provide high-quality protein and essential omega-3 fatty acids, which are fantastic for brain and heart health. It's about choosing cleaner, leaner protein sources. Coming in at number 4 is something that's become incredibly common in modern food culture: deep-fried foods. While Japan has its own delicious fried dishes like tempura, it's considered a treat, not an everyday food. The older generation, in particular, tends to steer clear of heavily fried items. The reason is twofold. First, deep-frying foods at high temperatures can create harmful compounds, including trans fats, which are notorious for raising bad cholesterol and lowering good cholesterol. Second, these foods are incredibly calorie-dense and can easily lead to weight gain and place a heavy burden on the digestive system. The traditional Japanese cooking methods, simmering, steaming, grilling, and stir-frying with minimal oil, are much gentler on the body and do a better job of preserving the natural nutrients in the food. It's a shift from heavy and greasy to light and clean. Finally, the 5th thing many Japanese elders avoid are mass-produced sweets and snacks. We're talking about cookies, cakes, chips, and candies that you find in brightly colored packages at the supermarket. These are typically high in refined sugar, unhealthy fats, and artificial ingredients, offering little to no nutritional benefit. They contribute to what is often called modern malnutrition, where we can be overweight yet undernourished. Think fresh fruit, a small piece of dark chocolate, or traditional Japanese sweets called wagashi. Wagashi are often made from rice flour, red bean paste, and natural sweeteners. They are enjoyed in small, mindful portions, usually with a cup of tea, turning dessert into a thoughtful ritual rather than a mindless indulgence. It's about quality over quantity and appreciating natural sweetness. So let's recap the 5 foods that Japanese elders often skip. Bread. And refined carbs, sugary drinks, processed and excessive red meats, deep-fried foods, and mass-produced sweets. The common thread here isn't about extreme restriction. It's about a philosophy of eating that prioritizes whole, unprocessed, and nutrient-dense foods. It's about listening to your body and nourishing it with things that are close to nature. Their diet is rich in vegetables, fish, soy, seaweed, and fermented foods like miso and natto, which support a healthy gut microbiome. You don't have to move to Japan or completely overhaul your diet overnight. But maybe you could try making a few small changes inspired by this time-tested wisdom. Perhaps you could swap one slice of toast for a small bowl of oatmeal, or trade your afternoon soda for a refreshing iced green tea. Maybe you could try grilling your chicken instead of frying it, or reaching for a piece of fruit when a sugar craving hits. These small, consistent choices are what build a foundation for a long and healthy life. It's a powerful reminder that food is not just fuel, it's medicine, and the choices we make every day have a profound impact on our well-being. What do you think? Were any of these a surprise to you? Are there any of these changes you might try to make in your own life? Let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks so much for watching today. If you found this video helpful and interesting, please give it a thumbs up, and do not forget to subscribe for more insights into health and wellness from around the world. See you in the next one. Processed meats contain high levels of sodium, nitrates, and other preservatives that extend shelf life but burden the body. The curing process creates compounds that, when consumed regularly over decades, are linked to increased risk of certain cancers and cardiovascular disease. The high sodium content contributes to hypertension, which Japanese elders go to great lengths to avoid. Even in a culture that uses soy sauce liberally, processed meats are recognized as a different category of risk. Instead of processed meat, Japanese elders eat fish, not occasionally, but frequently. Small fish like sardines and mackerel, rich in omega-3 fatty acids, appear several times per week. The fish is grilled, steamed, or lightly simmered, never heavily processed. When meat is consumed, it is typically in small amounts, thinly sliced, served as one component of a varied meal rather than as the centerpiece. The Western diet often positions meat as the main event, with vegetables as side dishes. Japanese meal structure inverts this. Vegetables, rice, soup, and fish or meat share equal importance. No single food dominates. This distribution ensures nutrient variety and prevents overconsumption of any one thing, particularly protein sources that are harder for aging bodies to process in large quantities. For practical application, you need not adopt Japanese cuisine entirely. You need only shift proportions. If your typical dinner is 8 ounces of meat with small sides, try 4 ounces of meat with larger portions of vegetables. Replace processed breakfast meats with eggs or a small piece of fresh fish. If fish is unfamiliar or unpleasant, start with mild varieties like cod or tilapia, prepared simply. The goal is increasing variety and decreasing reliance on processed preserved proteins. This principle of variety connects to the fourth avoided food, dairy products, particularly cheese and milk consumed in large quantities. Traditional Japanese diets contain almost no dairy. This is partly due to lactose intolerance, which is common among people of East Asian descent, but also reflects observation about how dairy affects digestion and inflammation, particularly in older bodies. Dairy is not inherently harmful, but it is also not necessary for human health after childhood. The marketing of milk as essential for strong bones is relatively recent and not supported by populations who consume little to no dairy, yet maintain bone health into old age through other means. Japanese elders get calcium from small fish, eaten whole, bones included, from leafy greens, and from tofu. These sources provide calcium without the saturated fat and potential inflammatory effects of cheese and whole milk. Cheese, particularly aged and processed varieties, is very high in sodium and saturated fat. It is also designed to be palatable in large quantities, making portion control difficult. A small amount of cheese is easily enjoyed. A large amount is just as easily consumed. This quality makes it different from foods that naturally signal fullness. Japanese elders avoid foods that encourage overconsumption. If dairy is a significant part of your current diet, complete elimination is neither necessary nor advisable for most people. The principle is moderation and awareness. If you currently eat cheese at every meal, reduce it to once per day. Choose smaller portions. Explore non-dairy sources of calcium and protein. Notice how your digestion responds. Many people discover that reducing dairy improves how they feel, even if they are not lactose intolerant. Others notice no change. The point is to experiment and observe, rather than follow rules blindly. The fifth food Japanese elders avoid might be surprising. They avoid eating large quantities at any single meal, even of healthy foods. This is less about a specific food and more about a practice. But it is so fundamental to Japanese longevity that it deserves attention. The Okinawan principle of hara, hachi, bu translates to eating until you are 80% full, then stopping. This practice works with human biology rather than against it. The stomach has stretch receptors that signal fullness, but these signals are slow. By the time you feel completely full, you have likely eaten more than your body needs. The discomfort you feel after a large meal is not satisfaction. It is your body struggling to process excess. Japanese elders stop before this point, leaving the table slightly hungry, knowing that feeling will pass within 20 minutes as digestion begins. They achieve this through several mechanisms. Food is served in small portions on separate plates, rather than in large serving bowls. This makes it easier to see how much you are eating. Meals are eaten slowly, with chopsticks placed down between bites. Conversation happens during meals, creating natural pauses. The meal consists of many small dishes rather than one or two large ones, which increases the time required to eat everything. The remarkable thing about this practice is that it prevents weight gain and digestive stress without requiring any specific diet. You can eat the foods you enjoy, you simply eat less of them. Over weeks and months, your body adjusts. The slight hunger after meals begins to feel normal, even pleasant. You start to notice how much better you feel 2 hours after a moderate meal compared to 2 hours after overeating. To implement this, you need environmental changes, not just willpower. Use smaller plates and bowls. This makes normal portions appear larger, satisfying the visual appetite. Put serving dishes away rather than leaving them on the table, requiring conscious decision to get more rather than mindless reaching. Eat more slowly by putting utensils down between bites, chewing thoroughly, engaging in conversation. Set a minimum meal time of 20 minutes, even if eating alone. These changes feel awkward at first, but become automatic with repetition. What ties all 5 of these avoided foods together is a common thread. They are modern, they are processed, they are designed for palatability over nourishment, and they encourage overconsumption. Japanese elders did not avoid these foods by reading nutrition studies or following diet trends. They avoided them through generations of observation about which eating patterns allowed people to remain active and clear-minded into their 90s and beyond. The Western approach to nutrition often focuses on adding things. Add more antioxidants, more protein, more supplements. The Japanese approach focuses equally on subtraction. Remove what harms, simplify what remains. This is not deprivation, it is clarification. When you stop consuming things that create inflammation, blood sugar spikes, and digestive stress, you discover that you need less food overall to feel satisfied. The body, no longer burdened by constant processing of difficult substances, functions more efficiently. Energy improves, sleep deepens, mental clarity sharpens. These changes do not happen overnight. The Japanese elders who lived to 100 did not achieve that longevity through 1 month of perfect eating. They achieved it through decades of consistent, moderate choices. Every meal is an opportunity to move in the right direction, and every meal that moves in the right direction compounds with the ones before it. You do not need to adopt Japanese cuisine or move to Okinawa. You need only to understand the principles and apply them within your own context. Start with one change. If bread dominates your diet, reduce it. If sugary drinks appear daily, replace one with tea. If processed meat is a staple, introduce fish twice per week. If cheese accompanies every meal, make it occasional. If you regularly eat until completely full, stop at 80%. Choose the change that feels most manageable, not the one that seems most important. Sustainability matters more than perfection. Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, consider subscribing for more evidence-based strategies on health, discipline, and longevity.